Okay, guys, for this lesson, we're going to be talking about perspective. Perspective drawing is a dynamic, important part of drawing any kind of thing. So you can see here, I got different books on perspective, and you can see that it is a big topic when it comes to drawing. I got all sorts of different books here in my library that I use. So today I'm going to just show you a basic perspective drawing technique. We're going to draw some boxes above the horizon line, below the horizon line. We're going to turn a box into something, and we're going to practice making perspective drawings. And then when we're done with that, in our next lesson, we're going to learn how to shade these things and make them look more three-dimensional. Okay. Perspective drawing is used to make something look like it's far away, that it's coming close to you. You can take a simple object, you can turn it, you can make it look three-dimensional. It's a way to make things look three-dimensional on a flat surface. Now, a flat surface would be something like your drawing paper, okay? So we're going to draw three-dimensional objects on a flat two-dimensional surface using perspective technique. Let's go. Okay, what I'm going to do is a quick demonstration on how to set up a basic perspective drawing. For this, all you need is a pencil, pen of your choice, whatever you have, ruler, some kind of straight edge will work. Straight edge, maybe like the corner of a notepad or a book you have laying around. What I like to do before I get started is take a piece of tape. You don't have to do this. I like to do it just to kind of keep things organized and straight so your paper doesn't go flying off. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish a horizon line. Now, a horizon line represents what your eye is looking at. So for example, if I'm standing here and I'm looking this way, my eye level is right there. Now, if I were to sit down, my eye level would be right there, okay? So we need to establish our eye level, and this is what we call a horizon line. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a straight edge, and you are going to find the middle of your paper, somewhere right around there, okay? And you're going to take a pencil, and you're going to draw a straight line. So we now have what we call the horizon line. Okay. So this line is what my eye is looking at. If I were standing, if I were sitting, that's where my eye is. So for this scene that we're going to draw, we're just going to be standing, looking here. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put two X's on the side of the paper. And we're going to label these VP. And VP stands for vanishing point. Okay. So in the vanishing point, this is where the object meets. So for example, we're going to start with a 1-point perspective drawing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find an X, or I'm sorry, I'm going to go on my horizon line here. And I'm just going to put an X. I'm going to establish another VP. Okay, these will come back to later. So what I want to do is below my vanishing point, I just want to draw a small box. You can sketch it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of sketch a square. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these corners and I'm going to draw them back to the vanishing point. Okay. Just like you see here. All right. So these corners go back to the vanishing point. So in order to draw the top of the box, I just draw a line across. Okay. All right. So now I have created a 1-point perspective box below the horizon line. Okay. So now what we're going to do is draw a 2-point perspective box. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of tighten this up a little bit so you can see better. Right? And I'll lightly kind of erase so you can kind of see the top of the box and you can kind of see where it meets there. Okay. 2 points, a little trickier, but it follows the same steps. Okay. So we're going to use these 2 vanishing points now, not this one, these 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line about right here. Okay. So what I need to do now is I need to connect these 2 ends of the line to a vanishing point. Okay. So in the slides presentation, I did a step-by-step demo that I want you to look at as well. Okay. Along with this video. So what I'm going to do is connect these 2. And as I do this, I want you to draw along with me as well. Okay. Or in practice. All right, so what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, so I'm going to take my line, connect it. Okay, and I'm going to connect it there. Okay, so you're going to have something that looks like that. Now, what I need to do is I need to draw the sides of the box. So what I'm going to do is somewhere right around here, I'm going to draw a line that goes straight down. Okay, and remember always, what I do on one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, so I'm going to put that one about right there. I'm going to draw a line straight down. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of sketch this out a little bit, so you can see it a little better. Okay, so here's the tricky part. So these 2 things, these 2 points at the end of the line, they have to go somewhere. Just like these 2 went here, these 2 have to go somewhere. But here's the funny part. They cross each other. And you'll see here, this side always goes to this vanishing point here. And you can see now that if I take this one over here, I have created the top of a 2-dimensional box. Okay. So now we have created a 2-point perspective box below the horizon line. Okay. So this is a 1 and this is a 2. Okay. Now, why do you suppose we call these a 1 and a 2? A 1 goes back to 1 vanishing point. A 2-point perspective box has 2 vanishing points. Okay. So in a sense, when you do a 2-point perspective box, you're kind of taking this box and turning it. So you're kind of looking at it from an angle. So now you see the top and the 2 sides. Okay, so we've turned this box. Now, one thing I want you to notice too is that anything below your eye level, you're going to see more of the top of an object. Okay, you can see the top of the box here. Now, this is where it gets fun. So let's go ahead and draw something above the horizon line and let's see what happens. Okay. So I'm going to just sketch this out, but I would want you to do this with a ruler. Okay. So let's draw a 2-point perspective box above. Okay. So I'm going to connect these dots just like you see here. Okay. Now remember, guys, everything has to hit this vanishing point. This line can't go that way. This line can't go that way. They have to meet. Okay. All right. So this one's going to go here. And this one's going to meet there. Okay. So now we're going to run into the same issue we did down here. We have to create the sides of my box floating in the air. So I'm going to draw a line here and I'm going to draw a line here. Now remember, when it's above the horizon line, the same rules apply. This line has to cross over and this line has to cross over there. And now you can see the bottom of the box. Okay. So the rules of perspective tell us that anything above the horizon line, you see more of the bottom. Okay. So how does this apply to drawing? Well, anything that you draw starts with a basic shape. Now we'll hit on that in our next lesson. However, I want to show you how we can construct something with perspective and make it look like it's doing something. So for example, let's take a 2-point perspective box above the horizon line and make it look like it's flying in the air. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put that off to the side, and we're going to start another one here. Okay, so I'm just going to sketch this out just for the sake of time. But again, you're going to use your ruler or a straight edge to follow the same rules. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put a 2-point perspective box above the horizon line. And I'm going to make it look, I'm going to turn it into something. And we can make it look like it's flying in the air. Okay. All right. Again, use your straight edge. Don't be sloppy with your work. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of lightly sketching out this box. Okay. So what should I do? So I can take this box that I've created, a 2-point perspective box above the horizon line. You can see the bottom of the object. Okay. So let's make it look like it's, I don't know, let's turn it into a flying car, something, or some kind of vehicle. Okay. So I can just simply give it some wings. Put some shading on the bottom of it because we're seeing the bottom of the object. And I can erase that line that's overlapping. Okay. And then maybe draw something else here. Okay. Now don't worry about your drawing skills right now. As we build on this perspective lesson, you'll be able to put some stuff together that looks a little bit more realistic. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just kind of draw a little flying object using 2-point perspective. Okay. So again, don't worry about your drawing skills too much. We will be working on that as we move throughout the semester. Okay. So there you go. There is a 2-point perspective box turned into a kind of cartoonish looking object, flying object. And then when we get into shading next, I will show you how to shade that stuff and make it look even more realistic. Okay. And so again, it's above the horizon line. So if I were standing here, I'm looking right here, you can see that this object is above me, and I can do some other things like put a road in there to give it look, and maybe some kind of background to make it look like it's flying. Okay. So remember, guys, we're going to be doing 1-point and 2-point perspective boxes for this lesson. We're going to practice with that, and then we're going to turn these boxes in 1 and 0.2 perspectives. We're going to turn them into some simple objects, and then we're going to add some shading to it in our next lesson. Okay. A couple things to remember: please use a straight edge. Don't be too sloppy with your work. A basic number 2 pencil is all you need for this. Piece of paper, and enjoy.